Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring this really cool text called Talking About Jesus.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful piece.
It is, and it's really about changing how we see the world, and I thought that was really interesting.
It definitely goes beyond just, telling us what to believe. It uses these metaphors, to help us experience faith more personally. I thought that was really cool.
Totally. It's not just about head knowledge,
Right.
So one of the first things that really jumped out at me was this idea of Jesus as our vision.
Yeah.
Not literally, of course.
Right.
But what does that even mean?
Oh.
How do we make Jesus our vision in everyday life?
Yeah, it's a really interesting way to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Our vision, it's how we see, everything around us. So if we make Jesus our vision, it's like we start to see the world through the lens of his teachings and his love.
So it's kind of like we're putting on Jesus glasses.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Instead of looking at things just with our own kind of limited view.
Exactly. Imagine if you're facing a tough situation at work. Right?
Yeah.
Instead of just getting, all stressed out or frustrated, you stop and you try to see it through Jesus's eyes.
Okay, yeah.
How would Jesus respond in that moment?
Right.
It might be with patience or understanding, even forgiveness.
Yeah.
And the text is really encouraging us to look at these tough moments, as chances to actually practice, what Jesus taught.
That's pretty powerful.
It is.
And it's not just about outward stuff, right?
Right.
This text also talks about Jesus being our thought.
Yes.
So it's like taking those Jesus glasses and looking inward at our own minds, I guess. But
Yeah.
how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
Our minds are always so busy and full of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a practice for sure.
Okay, yeah.
The text suggests really focusing our thoughts on Jesus's teachings and meditating on his goodness.
So instead of getting caught up in all the distractions and worries, we try to make Jesus our main thought.
Yeah. Choose to fill our minds with his presence rather than all those, negative things that can creep in.
So even taking a few minutes every day to just reflect on a Bible verse about Jesus.
Yeah.
Or even just sitting quietly and remembering his love. That can actually make a difference.
It really can. It creates this mental sanctuary, right?
Yeah.
Where we can find peace and reconnect with what really matters.
That makes sense.
And, that brings us to another really powerful image in the text, Jesus as our heart's desire.
Oh, now this one I get. It's about that, deep longing we all have inside, that search for something that truly satisfies.
Exactly. And the text suggests that all those longings, all those desires, they ultimately point us to Jesus.
Okay.
He's the one who can truly fulfill us, satisfy those deepest needs we have.
So how does that actually play out in our lives?
Well, let's think about our desires.
Yeah.
What do we truly long for? Love, acceptance, purpose.
Yeah.
The text says all of that, it points us towards Jesus.
So it's kind of he becomes the compass that guides our emotions and choices.
Yeah, instead of just reacting to things, or being controlled by fleeting desires, we can always come back to that deeper longing for Jesus and let it guide us.
Yeah, instead of just following every whim or impulse that pops up.
Exactly. It's about aligning our heart's desire with his will, letting his love shape our feelings and how we respond to things. Now imagine, you're going into all your relationships, family, friends, coworkers, from that place.
Whoa.
How would that change the way you interact with people?
That's a huge shift for sure.
It is.
But I kind of like it. It's taking all these different pieces, the vision, the thought, the heart's desire, and weaving them all together into this tapestry of faith.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And that's the amazing thing about this text, right? It doesn't just give us a bunch of random ideas. It gives us this whole vision of what it means to live with Jesus at the center of everything.
In all parts of our life.
Exactly.
Wow. This is it's definitely a challenge, but it's pretty inspiring too. Thanks for walking us through this.
No problem. And for everyone listening, here's a question to think about.
Ooh, I like questions.
If you really let Jesus be your vision, your thought, your heart's desire, how would it change your life, your actions, your relationships? Keep thinking about that as you explore this text. You might be surprised what you discover.
I think you're right. I know I'll be thinking about it. Thanks again for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
See you on next time.